Hello, happy new moon. This reading is for the new moon in Virgo, which takes place on September 2nd, Labor Day, here in the US of A. And as I have started to tune into this energy, it's a little peculiar. It's a little curious to me because sometimes there'll be this sense that it doesn't want to be seen, that it's a bit obscured, and the new moon itself, it's the moon, the dark moon. And we'll just have to see. We'll have to see what Spirit brings through, what it is that we are to know, and what is to be left to trust, to wonder. So with that being said, we call on the highest light of truth, of wisdom, of radical trust and grace, and asking that these transmissions be healing, that they be enlightening, that they deliver messages that resonate with what is relevant for each individual in their own current soul's evolution. And asking for guidance for how to best merge and work with these energies and with this lunar cycle. And we give thanks that it is. So because it's a little shy and doesn't really want to be seen, I feel directed to work with this Pluto deck to pull our theme. This is the Pluto Oracle deck, which works with animal archetypes. And as someone who has been in this initiation with Pluto for a year and a half now, it's curious because Capricorn also is going retrograde into Pluto on the same day as the new moon is. So on Labor Day, it will retrograde back into Capricorn. Okay, well, we got the eagle upside down. And Pluto entered into Aquarius in February of this year, and it's significant for many, many reasons. If you haven't already heard me talk about this or somebody else talk about it, this is marking of the changing of the age. I believe that we will perhaps during this time period, we will start to see some of the implications of the old system. Capricorn is the old structure, especially around money, around old masculine. We may see like a last attempt to keep those structures in play and to have authority as it goes back into Capricorn now on Monday. To me, it just feels like an energy of anything's possible. I'm wondering if there's something going on with Uranus too during that period, because it does feel like it's the unknown, and there's no limits to what may occur during that period of time. So as we are diving into this reading, the theme of the reading is the eagle in reverse. And so as this card is in reverse, it gives us a little bit more of like the opposite meaning of it, among other things. So let's find the eagle. And I'm curious to hear any of your feelings around this moon, any of your feelings about Capricorn going Pluto going retrograde into Capricorn. The new moon in Virgo, it's healing. It's the archetype of the healer, and it's very home-based, very earthy, pragmatic, organized, self-sufficient, and also nurturing. At this moment, it doesn't feel like anything else wants to be delivered about the new moon itself, but for that information to just come through the reading. So the eagle, it's the spiritual messenger, it's protection, it's the bigger picture. Oh boy, okay, I'm starting to get it. So we also are beginning to receive the waves of the eclipse that's coming in just a couple of short weeks. That will be with the full moon. And it's, I can feel some of those ripples coming back in here, and that there may be challenges, there may be deceptions in the way that we're actually able to view the whole picture, since this is coming in upside down. The eagle is one that it's at the top of the food chain. It's able to rise above the tree line to see beyond it, so there's no obstructions. And it's a messenger. It's a messenger between the heavens and many cultures. So this card, it speaks about leadership. It speaks about being encouraged to share wisdom, skills, and knowledge that you possess. Asking to be both a student and a teacher. Where do you embody both of those roles? We'll have to read a little bit further into the reading itself to get more out of this. It's hard to determine exactly what this is indicating without a few more reference points. All right, Spirit, can you make it a little bit more clear? Yeah, I can sense this eclipse is going to be a big deal. It's a lot of shadowy, deceptive energy that's going to start to manifest, maybe already starting to manifest. And that's a little bit of what I was concerned about with this inverted eagle, is we have an energy of what seems right may be presented as wrong, and what may be, and I say that very loosely in societal terms, right? What we may identify as something that is right may actually be wrong. And what is wrong may actually be right. There's like a whole inversion of truth. That's something I've already been tracking. It's been present in the collective shadow for a while now, and COVID really highlighted that. My intuition is that we may be getting another round of that quite soon, and the only way through this is going to be really diving into your shadow work and seeing where is your fear driving your behaviors, your beliefs, your thoughts, and your actions. Because what's present right now and through this new moon is the Lord of the Smoking Mirror. This is with the Mayan Oracle deck. Give me just a moment, I'll share what the card looks like. Yeah. Okay, so the Lord of the Smoking Mirror is the Lord of the Smoking Mirror is the Lord of Destiny. The mirror was made of obsidian, hence the smoky hue. Epic battles took place between this deity, representing the earth, and Quetzalcoatl, the wind. This can also be viewed as a conflict between the physical and the spiritual. He is often at the center of conflict, a reminder that conflict births change. In one creation story, this deity used his foot as bait for the earth monster crocodile, and she bit it off. And so you can note in the card how one of his feet is actually a wheel. When this deity appears, there's usually conflict afoot. He reminds you that illusion often obscures the truth. He challenges you to be strong and brave enough to face your own truth. After you clear the smoke, the mirror's image will be clear. Okay. And then what followed that was the owl, Pueo, guardian of the Amakua, and then the serpent. So without even reading those cards right away, I just sense that we have to be so vigilant right now with the information that we are getting from our external world. Not just information that may be coming through the pipelines of the news or people around us, but we may be getting it in other ways too. There could be information that's coming in through music. It could be coming in through agriculture. And I really always recommend disconnect from your news sources, seek out independent journalism, and seek out, to not try to find somebody who agrees with you, but listen to those that you really don't agree with, to understand the whole, to really see yourself and your own biases. And from that, then you have the freedom to extract what resonates true with you. The only way forward is through feeling. If you've been tracking with me for this whole summer and since really spring, the message is, okay, you've been asked or you have been practicing being at one with your intuition, of listening, of trusting, of following the natural order of things in your life, because there's going to be a conflict with the outer world coming up. There already is in many ways, but there may be things that are very polarizing to you personally that may hit your fear button, that may hit your anger button, may hit your sad button. And to really remain vigilant when you start to notice that. Notice the pattern around that, like what is causing that, how frequently is it happening, and then how do you behave after you have that stimulus. There's going to be a growing collective shadow that's going to come in through this portal with the eclipse, and we're starting to get it now. It's starting to be impregnated within the mental field and the society and within the earth. And I get probably until November that's going to be pretty shaky and disturbing. That there are going to be things, stories, and ideas that are going to be propagated and promoted and pushed in the external world. And there are going to be a lot of people who are just going to repeat it and then enhance it with their own fears and opinions. And what you have to look for is inside of yourself, what you know to be true, and to trust what you know to be true at your core, and to reconcile the conflict between those two. Your physical body, and when I say this, to know the truth, it's going to be in your spirit, and you're going to have to find that place between your spirit and your body where there is conflict, where your spirit says, I know that this is true for me. I know that this actually feels right. I know that this feels wrong. But there's a visceral response in my body, a physiological response in my body that is in conflict with how I feel. And so what that does is it directs you to the mirror. It directs you to see the shadow, to see the part that is not fully awake to the truth. And therefore you need to create containers around those experiences for self-reflection, for self-understanding. We have the guide of the owl here, and the owl it's wise, right? It's wise, and it's able to see through deception. It's able to see through the night. It operates best at night. So this is an archetype you can call on, knowing that there are things that you don't know that you don't know, and that there are going to be things that you're going to feel really strongly about, things maybe that really, again, like trigger some very strong and intense emotions and judgments and opinions, and that is the point where you want to bring in that archetype of the owl, where you're able to witness and observe. Where does that come from? And what is my deepest intention always as I move through life? And is there a conflict between that and that which I am experiencing, that which I'm feeling in my body, versus what I know in my spirit? So this card comes with the message that no matter how compelling an experience of challenge, darkness, or defeat may seem, you have divine protection and the promise of safe passage through the dawn. You will see and hear the truth of the light. You shall not be alone on this journey. Soul guides now help you find your true north. If you have been proceeding along a dangerous path, even unknowingly, Pueo will navigate you safely away from evil and ill-wishing, guiding you back to your higher purpose and sacred path. So if you hear me saying all of this and you're like, oh my gosh, like I haven't been showing up, and giving yourself a really hard time about maybe not being where you want to be or have done what you want to do, just let that go for right now, because it's actually not helpful. That is a shadow in itself. There's a way you can be honest with yourself without reprimanding, punishing, shaming, judging. You can be honest and go, you know what? I actually feel like I could have been a better steward of my time, a better steward of my energy or my money. And right now I'm going to choose to see that for what it is and look at the why behind those choices. And I'm going to choose something different. And I'm going to choose something that aligns with my goal, which is to become enlightened, to become aware, to become sovereign, to awaken to the sovereignty that is inherent. This says information that may have been hidden for a time will come to light. That's the medicine of any eclipse, is what is hidden comes to light. A guiding intelligence is assisting you safely through a situation that is otherwise confusing or dangerous for you. Divine powers are helping you in matters to do with battles, unfairness, or injustice. Whether you're consciously aware of these things or not, trust in the signs you see and especially in the truth that you hear, sometimes beneath what is being spoken. The accuracy of your insights and perceptions are heightened at this time. This oracle indicates that loved ones on the other side are receiving your prayers and intentions for their healing and sending you love and assistance. Says that Pueo is the guardian owl of Hawaii. Invisible help from the spiritual worlds is with you, guiding and protecting you through spiritual warfare, seen and unseen. And with that, we have the serpent. So the path through is to take on the archetype of the owl, the archetype of trusting that we're protected, on claiming that protection through the willingness to see things honestly as they are, and not being so gullible to think, to like take everything at face value, not being so gullible to believe that, I'm just going to say it, that certain systems have your best interests at heart. To not take everything at face value, to really ask why, including messages like this. Like, take what resonates, leave what doesn't, question everything, like have enough what am I trying to say? There's, think for yourself. Think for yourself. Feel it. Feel it in your spirit. Feel it in your body. And if we do this, we can remain in the eye of the storm while the chaos ensues around us, while there's maybe an overwhelm of information, things that could create a lot of fear because there's so many unknowns, or because there's a proliferation of stories that may or may not be true, but they're consistently just placed into your day-to-day life enough where it becomes like the backdrop for how you start to see the world. It becomes the backdrop for your conversations. It becomes the backdrop in your dreams. You have to be really mindful of starting to set up a perimeter around yourself as we're entering into these energies. We have the equinox that's coming in too, and that it doesn't just feel like a change of the season of summer to fall. This feels very metaphorical in a larger cycle. We are ending of a season of a larger cycle. And it's going to require this rebirth. It's going to require this rebirth of body, mind, and spirit. The body, I feel, is going to be challenged. I've been getting for all of this week to increase your greens, to increase, and if you can, to eat only greens and vegetables and fruits, to detox in a stable way. But what is so important right now is lots and lots of greens, raw greens, spirulina, chlorella, chlorophyll. Those would be like quick ways to get that boost and to cleanse. The systems need to be protected, and this is one of the ways that you can do it and to ensure your overall health and well-being and protection is by feeding and fortifying the cellular structures that are carrying you through life, carrying you through maybe multiple different environments that could feel unsafe, that could feel aggressive or create conflict. Let me speak a little bit to what they have written about this card. It talks about the Kundalini and the sacred connection with Mother Earth, the tree of knowledge, and the offering of forbidden fruit that set your passion and your creativity free. And the power of the Kundalini is stirring. So there's this opportunity within this particular lunar cycle to propel you forward. And in that propulsion, we meet blockage, we meet shadow, we meet the separate selves that still need to be alchemized. And ultimately, we shed that old skin. We shed that old persona and we become vulnerable in a way that's healthy. You know, being close with Mother Earth, bringing our belly to her belly, breathing with her, listening to her. What is it that she's saying? This is also the feminine wisdom, and listening to intuition and using that creative life force to create consciously. Because what occurs during periods of time when there is an inundation of information that is to trigger fear, we then empty our creative life force into rumination and behavioral patterns to cope with anxiety, and we lose the potential of utilizing that to dream something better, to actually co-create the opposite of what we want. Because if we want something different than what we're being told or we're being offered, then we have to take our energy away from that. And when I say that, it's not thinking, I don't want that, because all that's saying is, I want that. That the universe doesn't know the difference between the I do and I don't. It just responds to where the energy is going. So we know that that's something that we would prefer not to happen. And so we send our energy, our focus, our attention, our emotions towards what we do want to create, what we do want to affirm. And that being, you know, especially we have an election coming up. There's a whole lot of this feeling of what I do want and what I don't want. And what I encourage everyone to do is, with whatever it is that they don't want, and if they have personified that, I implore you to try to focus on what you do want from that. What you do want to see that person become, what you do want to affirm as a positive light from that person, that party. You want to affirm what you want, not distance and resist what you don't want. I'm sure you've heard resist, persist. So this is valuable information that is coming through around this cycle, and so we work with the new moon energy to bring about our visions of what we do want. How do we start to focus our attention, our emotions, our words, thoughts, actions, and energy in the direction of what we want to create? If you want peace in the world, well, that has to start with focusing on what that would look like. How would that sound? How would people who lived on a peaceful planet speak to one another? How would they speak of people that they disagreed with? Mindfully, kindly, respectfully disagreeing, and still loving. How do we do that? Can you visualize and bring forth that image? And if you can't, that might be a message for you. That might be a check-in for your shadow. That might be an opportunity for you to actively participate in creating that reality, because it must manifest through the body. And our last cards here are the Star Mother, how can you mother yourself? And the Wild Rose in reverse, which is do it your own way, embrace your uniqueness untamed. the more that you're able to nurture yourself in this time and to be nurturing to others, be compassionate with others, the more grounded you will be in knowing what is true for you and being able to act, live, and speak from that place. And remembering when you start to feel the intrusive energies and thoughts, to receive the help that is beyond this world, to receive the help of the Divine Mother, to receive the help of the angels, to receive the help of your guides and star ancestors, and those that you feel most connected and aligned with, and giving over those burdens, those beliefs of separation to that greater being or greater emanation of God. Just surrendering all of that so there's enough space for you to keep coming back and tending your inner altar. And ultimately increasing your capacity to love and hold yourself through challenge, through pain, through conflict. To be compassionate with your body, with your mind, and your soul, and to treat yourself like the beautiful spirit that you truly are. Reminding yourself that you are doing your best and try not to carry it all on your own. And letting Divine Mother hold you. Letting her be there for you. And in that process, trusting what unfolds, trusting the natural evolution in your life, that as relationships disintegrate or new ones come in, really trusting that wildness, that I'm looking for this card, I'm having trouble finding it. Trusting that you may not understand the way that you are growing, or that others are growing, and that the things that seem like they don't belong are a part of some system that's needed for your own evolution. This is so interesting. I can't find this card. Which may say something. It takes me back to how the theme of the reading is around obscurity of maybe not seeing things the way that they truly are. And how our perception may be skewed. That is so odd. I mean, I've looked through this over and over again and I don't see this card. That's bizarre. Very bizarre. What do you get from it? Tell me what you get from it. You know why? Because I was looking in the wrong book. They're the same creators, so they look really different. Or they look really similar. So that in itself, that speaks to me and how easy we may be deceived during this time. How easy we may make mistakes and have misconceptions, because there's a similarity there, but if we're not fully present, we may not pick up on that, and we can be easily led astray. Finally, found it. And it's the last in the deck. says if someone says that you're not normal, say thank you. If someone says that what you're doing isn't normal, say naturally. The wild rose knows that no one rose is the same as another. She doesn't try to bloom in a neat row according to schedule. She doesn't open and close according to who walks by. The wild rose knows her true, unique nature, and she wants you to remember yours too. This card comes with an invitation to do what would make you feel most free, to trust in the very thing that makes you stand out, to realize that you were never meant to fit in. You were never meant to grow in a perfect, cultivated way. You were never meant to bloom in unison with someone else. You were never meant to be captive or controlled. Nature is full of diversity, and it's imperative to its survival. And it is to ours too. So be who you came here to be. Express what you came here to express. Sing the song that you came here to sing. Together the wild ones will be the ones who set us free. And as inviting as that is, this card came in upside down, and to me feels like that there may be more challenge around that than normal. And yet we still have to do it. We still have to rise above that. I'm just feeling into if we want to pull one more card. Ha! I've never got the cacao card, which is so strange. But the cacao card is here. And cacao this is a medicine that is intended to heal the conflict between human and earth. The conflict between self and other. And the Mayans use this, the indigenous cultures in South America and Mexico use this as a part of their healing practice whenever there would be conflict. They would stop and they would prepare cacao. They would sit down and they would re-engage from a more heart-centered, mindful place. So if you're not in practice with working with cacao, this could be a really potent time to bring her into your field and into your daily practice and your daily ritual, to stabilize and to keep yourself heart-centered as you go through the swirling within the collective field and within the earth field. With that, this reading feels complete. I wish all of you an easy transition into this next stage of life. Please join me for more online opportunities, more than I've offered here before. Join me for an online cacao ceremony and healing transmission for the equinox itself, and then a live Q&A coming up in just a short week from now. I believe it's on the 9th. So check in with me there, and if you haven't already, please like, comment, subscribe. All of these things are so helpful. Share if you think it's something that others will find helpful too. And until we meet again, keep it pure, stay simple. Pura Vida.